What's up, guys? It's Ryan with the MXG and AOMC YouTube channels. I'm back today, and I just wanted to toss around some ideas with you guys about this new Triumph motorcycle. I'm sure a lot of you guys have had these thoughts in the back of your head. And we got big news last year when Triumph announced they were partnering with Ricky Carmichael and developing a new motorcycle. They've even gone as far as to say they will have a Supercross team in 2024. So, obviously I was immediately excited about this. I want as many brands as possible. I was thinking things were going great because Triumph said, they're coming in with a new bike and a new team. Beta has said they're coming in with a new bike and a new team with their 450 motocrosser that I believe is already being raced at some of the GPs. But that's a whole nother video. So Triumph, they've said they've got a new motorcycle on the way, and we can only assume that that is a new four-stroke combustion motorcycle that Ricky Carmichael is going to help develop. But, as time went on, a few things happened. One, when this news broke, someone made a thumbnail of a gray KTM and put a Triumph logo on it. And I think that was just for fun. That wasn't based on any knowledge or leaks. And so many people saw that thumbnail and they kind of ran with it. And now there is a huge misunderstanding going around the moto community that the Triumph is probably going to be a rebranded KTM. And there's just no knowledge for this. There's no data, no clues, nothing leads to this, guys. KTM, yes, they have bought up brands in the past, brought them in-house, but KTM hasn't really given their technology to another brand from a racing perspective anyway. They've definitely worked with CF Moto and Bajaj in India on some of their street and venture bikes, but I just don't see them doing that same move with a performance racing machine. I think they're going to I really think they would keep all that stuff a lot closer to home, but that may not be the case. So as time went on, I actually got the opportunity to speak to a Triumph rep in person, and the first thing he told me was, I didn't have to ask. The first thing he said was, "It's not a KTM." So I found that pretty interesting. He could have been blowing smoke, but he didn't seem like he was. So some more months passed, and I started thinking, well, maybe Triumph's got a card up their sleeve, and maybe this is an electric bike. And the reason I thought this was because how could Triumph come out with a motorcycle, a combustion motorcycle, and be able to compete with the Big Four and KTM? The Big Four have been pouring R&D into motorcycles, for 50 years. It took KTM, 30 years to catch up with the Japanese Big Four in the terms of quality and performance in the racing scene. How can Triumph do that right off the bat? And even if they can, why would they? Electric bikes are coming onto the scene. Kawasaki's already said they're not going to make any gas bikes after 2035. So, by the time Triumph could even get everything into place to be a real contender, gas bikes are going to be on their way out. So, I thought, well, maybe they're fooling everybody. Maybe this is an electric bike. There's tons of electrical component companies that Triumph can work with, just like Honda just announced their bike partnership with Grainger Power Sports on the Play bike. There's plenty of options out there for Triumph to do the same thing, and the bike just kind of, be Triumph branded. But then that brings me back full circle to the Supercross situation. Triumph, their reps have been spotted at the Supercross races, and they've said they're going to have a Supercross team in 2024, but they can't have a Supercross team if the bike's electric. So unless they know something about AMA, AMA's electric rules and stuff that we don't know, I don't see how it could be an electric bike. But I don't see how they're going to compete on a brand new four-stroke platform right off the bat. So then that brings us completely around full circle to it almost has to be either a rebranded version of someone else's brand or an old platform, an old tech that they bought the rights to from somebody else. Don't get me wrong, guys. I would love if Triumph came out and it gave us an entirely new bike from the ground up, and it was competitive right off the bat. I just don't see how it's possible. So they're supposed to unveil the new bike in November, and I hope that time just doesn't come and go and everything get delayed because of everything going on in the world right now. But either way, we're excited about it. We appreciate it. We want Triumph. We want Beta. We want everybody in the moto. We want everybody in the motocross community. We want as many brands as involved as possible. So, also, guys, let me know what you think. If you know somebody that works at Triumph, you've heard a leak, you've heard a rumor, leave it down in the comments or send it to me on Facebook, and I'll share it with everybody and leave you anonymous if you want to be. So, yeah, thanks for watching.